we should start way back. Here, look at this little clip here. That's a college 8. These are 8 rowers. They're pretty practiced athletes. And they're making that very thin boat go very fast through the water. Now, what would happen if one of them thought they weren't going fast enough, and so he speeded up, and another one maybe needed to scratch his ear, and so he let go of his oars for a moment? The whole thing would break down, and the boat might even tip over, because this is not like that, which is a famous painting of a single skull. That guy can slow down, speed up, and it's not a problem. What's the difference? This can go much faster, and it does that through coordination. Those 8 rowers have to be coordinated. They've got to be going at the same speed. How do you get that? Well, there are different ways to get it. Here's one way that they used to get it back in the Roman times, when they would have 300 galley slaves, and you'd have this guy, he was beating the drum to give the rhythm, and there'd be someone else there with a whip. But of course, that's exactly what this isn't. Our story is much more like, in fact, I think it's exactly like the college 8 than it is in the Roman galley, because we're talking about coordinating the activities, maybe just 1 or 2 people, or a few people, the people who are going to shovel out your driveway, for instance, coordinating the activity between free men and women. Nobody's got a whip to anybody here. And later on, we'll see what would happen if somebody says, I didn't really mean it because they had a whip to me. We'll talk about that later. Because for the time being, and mainly, we're talking about coordination of free people who are getting together to do something. Look at this picture. It's a famous painting done in the 14th century in Siena. The people in Siena, Siena was a republic, by the way, the people in Siena, in their town hall, wanted a great painter, Ambrogio Lorenzetti, to picture what happens in their well-run city. And it was a well-run city, very prosperous. And in this, it's called Buon Governo, good government. And you see all of these activities here. Well, they're all coordinated activities. You see those 2 men there? They seem to be engaging in some kind of a trade or something of that sort. Well, that requires money or credit, and that is a highly coordinated activity. And look at those ladies in front there. They're dancing. Well, you know, that dance is a little bit like the college 8. They've got to watch each other's steps. They've got to transmit. They've got to coordinate. It's like an orchestra, or even better, a jazz group. How do those people in that jazz group somehow know that it's time to speed up, or it's time to try that in B minor, or something of that sort? There's nobody there with a whip. It's a little bit more, much more like the college 8, and there the coordination takes place through subtle hints. In the jazz group, it might just be a glance. It might just be a little gesture which outsiders don't even notice. Look again at that painting. There's another example. Up there, you see a couple of guys who are fixing the roof on a house? Well, again, coordination is the key.